Don't know whether anyone noticed, but I said it was Monday morning yesterday when actually it was Tuesday, so today is Wednesday morning, and it is of course the 1st of September. So I don't know whether anyone heard loads of noise last night. Well, that was the birds moving out the hedgerows. So on the 1st of September they've basically evicted from all the hedgerows, so now we can cut them to give us more room in fields and clear up all the grass and weeds that ingress into the fields. But you can't do it in August because the birds still live in the hedges, but magically on the 31st of August they all leave the hedgerows. So we're going to get going today with the hedge cutter, get some around some fields. Got a little bit to do for them builders with it as well, because they want to get to see a bottom of a ditch that James is going to clean out for them. Don't know whether you can hear that fan running. Well, that is because it's been a cold night last night, so the temperature sensors in the oilseed rape have automatically turned on, pulling cold air through the oilseed rape, cooling it down and conditioning it to keep it to store better. Also as well today there's a hedge that's sort of like that high, and it's really blind getting out the gateway where the builders have now started, so they want us to reduce the height right down. So Adam's going to try and go with his tree shear on his cat and snip the hedgerow down to a better height, and then we'll tide it up with the hedge cutter and bring it back and chip it. In the Bateman, and it flies on the road. So I'm just got here now, I'm telling it that I'm going to do a headland on this field that I'm in now, and I'm going to mark the boundary so it remembers it for next time I come back. So I've told it that I'm here and I've got an 18 metre boom to my left. So when I go around the outside of the field now, hopefully it should map the field, and then it'll remember it for good then. And then also I'll put an AB line up and down that straight edge, and then we'll know where the tram lines are going to be as well in the field. So I've just gone around the edge of the field now, created this boundary. I've gone round the pylon so you can see where I've sprayed green, and because I couldn't fit between the pylon and the road, I paused the boundary and then restarted it here, so it's drawn that line itself. So that's now the field. It's about just over 8 hectares, and it's telling me that I've sprayed 4.59 of it. I think if we go to this page here, it's got productivity. So yeah, so I've sprayed I've got 3.7 hectares left, and I've done 4.6. So if I wanted to adjust the rate of spray, I could do that now to make sure I don't run out on the field. But anyway, it should be working out fine. So we'll go back now to that map, or maybe that one, and then I'll turn down this red line and press that pedal, and it should steer itself. This is where they're building, obviously. So they've put the roads in and stuff like that. And the sight line getting out the gateway is terrible. So Adam's got the tree shear on that, and he's just snipping off and reducing the hedge to half the height. So it'll now grow nice and thick and bushy, but lower. And then you can see pulling out over the top of it. So when the different things are coming in and out, it'll be easier for them to see what they're doing. And then I think eventually it's going to get realigned so that it's easier for the cars. But the main road gateway's up there, and the road gateway's over there. But he's just got the tree shear on. I think there's a little O-ring on in it, so he's just waiting for a new O-ring before he carries on. But he's doing a neat job anyway. We'll just tie it up with the edge cutter afterwards. Yeah, he's to call that off anyway. There's a stay wire on that pole, so he's just trying to work around that without chopping it. There we go. I like doing all the edges for the biomass. Satisfying crunch. It's mint, that, isn't it? Just putting the seed drill in the shed because I'm doing some filming for the NFU for a kid's thing about wheat and how it grows and how we grow it. So we're going to be obviously showing how the seed drill works as well. So I'm just going to put this in the wheat shed so we can do it all in one place, because they want us to look at the pile of wheat, look at the grain dryer, and then obviously how it's sown. And we've got to be 10 that it's live, even though it's we've got to be 10 it's October. Just trying to find some wheat unthrashed, but the only bit I can find is a bit that's been driven over when we put the header on. Jonathan's just loading up a bit of rake straw for building straw henge later. Just got the header now. We're just going to go and try some beans and see what it's like. Little baby John Deere combine. I've got a picture of this part next to it actually. It's quite funny. I'll put it on. Just cutting the beans on the back of the yard now, a little bit weedy in places. 936 on the trailer. You don't seem to be doing too bad at one end of the field, but then the other end of the field are rubbish, but mainly where the water main was leaking, so they must have just been too wet and flooded. First field of beans harvested. A couple of hares mooching about on it now. Off to the next one now. I did actually though set off in the field without turning the chopper on, so there's a little bit of a row of straw over here now, which I'm going to try and pick up and send through the combine and out the back of the chopper, so that we don't have to come back and get rid of it, because we've got like, I don't know, 10 metres worth of, no, more than that, sorry, 30 metres worth of straw just here in a bit of a row. So I'll try and scoop it up now, the header, get rid of it, if it's going to work. I don't know whether it's a bit too, doesn't really want to get it, to be honest. Oh yeah, it's getting it. There we go. I'll scoop that up and throw it through the chopper. Quite a thin bit this, because that's where the burst water main was. There's not a lot of stuff, so I'll let it go back through the machine and out the back. Otherwise it'll be a bit of a mat for the drill to stitch through. There we go. I'm hoovering beans up. Danny's hoovering spring wheat up. Some dust flying around here today. Just a bit short and stumpy in places, these beans, and the pigeons have obviously been attacking them. First field only did 1.6 tonnes to the acre, which is a bit disappointing. We like them to do at least 2 tonne, and in the past we've had 3.2 tonne an acre out of them. But this obviously isn't a season, a year to suit beans. Windows are getting a bit dusty, there's a lot of dust coming off them. But with beans, they don't cost a lot to grow, and they put a lot of sort of goodness back into the soil, so you always get like a decent crop of wheat after them. Sorry, I was just checking the header. These beans though, in the time that they only grow for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, and in that time, one of the months was the coldest month we've ever had, one of the months was the wettest month we've ever had, and one of the months was the hottest month we've ever had. So it's hardly surprising really that they're not yielding particularly well. But I can't really complain, because the wheat and the barley have done alright, and the oilseed rate was about average. But cheap crop to grow, breaks are sowing up a bit, so we'll see when we finish what the grand total is. But I'm a little bit disappointed with this field, to be honest. I thought this was going to do better than the one I've just cut, but it looks like it's going to do worse. It's not took me long to cut it though, because we're doing like 7.5k, which is getting on for sort of 25 acres an hour nearly. Anyway, I'm going to jump in James's car, nip to the sunflower maze. I need to mow some paths ready for tomorrow, and he's just going to take over and finish this last bit off. Did I say 25 acres an hour or 25 hectares an hour? Anyway, it's about 23 acres an hour anyway. Some of the straw's up here now for straw henge. We're just here now with the mower though, because we're just going to mow a bit of this down so we can get to the potatoes and the sweet corn for that. And straw henge is going somewhere up there somewhere. We're not decided. We'll decide properly better in the morning. Jonathan's got a peg and a bit of string I've been trying to mark out, but I don't know whether we put it further up and not in that hollow. I don't know, we'll see. There you go, 7.5 hectares an hour. No, sorry, 9 hectares an hour he's at. Checking the floor for losses. Literally no losses at all from that header, because the auger is only in the middle and it's so far behind the knife, and it's not one spinning all the time. No beans flick out the front of it, and obviously we can get the knife really low, pick up all the lower pods, so we've got every single pod as well. But no, I can't find any beans on the floor whatsoever. Got to be one somewhere surely. So anyway, I'll jump back on it now after we've done that mowing. You look down there, it's just like literally just straight in, and you can't see any beans flicking out the front. Whereas normally you'd have an auger spinning over there and it'd be flicking the beans out everywhere. I'll put it in slow motion. Not have that good a weed control this year in the beans, but it's obviously down to the season, and moisture when we apply it, so it's just one of them things, but it's not too bad. We'll get in glyphosate now, kill off all this green growth that's in the bottom, and then stitch wheat straight into it, and off we go again. All starts again. There's another field now ticked off, so I think we've cut about 70 acres of beans this afternoon, which isn't too bad considering it's only 7:20 now, and we didn't get going till I think 2:30, and we're in 2 different places and had to pick the combine up as well and move it. So there's a chance we could actually get finished cutting beans tomorrow if we get a long enough day on it. It all just depends on how much we've got to do in the morning. But yeah, pleased with that. Could have done with the yield being a little bit better on this field in particular, but we'll see how we get on. Oh look, we've now got a registration for the fast track and it ends in oh! So now it's finally allowed out on the road. According to the dealership, it's DOE because it's OH for Olly Harrison. Just took the head off and realised I missed this little triangle here where I went around the header trailer before. Oh. There's a little bit in Bill's field of wheat the other night as well that we'd not seen in the dark in the far corner that we'd missed, and it's not worth putting the header on for as well. It's one of them things. Just back at the yard now, and I forgot to show people. If you remember when I went to the factory and wrote my name on the chassis, well, there it is. The general consensus of the hubs is to leave them red, and a few people suggested something that I'd thought of as well, is put some play buttons on it for YouTube, so I might just do that now with these stickers. There we go, look at that. It's alright, doesn't it? Apart from the YouTube logo is actually a square, not a round circle, but we'll see what it looks like. Be interested to see how many times it stops that they actually look like they're pointing in the same direction as they are now. Quick review of the sprayer so far after using it last night and then a little bit this morning. I love everything about it apart from, so we need to figure out why that's rattling, because I think there's a fuse box underneath here and I don't know whether it's clipped in properly. It needs a bit of silicone on it, but sometimes in a field that does that. You fold it down, it doesn't, but most of the time it'll be up because I won't have passengers with me most of the time. I've tracked it down and it's that little thing there wobbling, we can see it. So I'll put, it's hard to see with one hand, it's that there. So I'm going to put a little wedge in it to stop it. There we go now. Not really a wobble at all, or a rattle. Plastic's still on the seat. That's about it for today. I'm going to put this away now. Thanks to everyone that's been watching. Thanks to the amount of people that watched yesterday, unbelievable, especially the live video, even though they watched it afterwards. But yeah, thanks again, and thanks for buying that sprayer for me, everyone that's watching. If you want to watch another video, it's over there. If you want to subscribe, it's over here, and see you all tomorrow. One last thing, actually, when I've got a little bit more time, we'll have a proper walk around the machine and I'll explain everything about it. We're just busy at the moment, and I can do that on like a wet day when we're not too busy.